What up, mathletes? Whoop whoop! All right, let's do this. This is the Mod 1 test review. So let's talk about it. This is fill in the blank using the available. By the way, I'm assuming you have attempted this, or if you haven't, pause this, attempt it question by question. You can then watch. That is always the best policy, but nevertheless, let's go. So I'm just going to zip through this, and that's why I'm assuming you've tried it. You're just watching this to make sure you did it right or get help on questions you struggled with. In the expression 7 to the third power, 7 is the base. It's the base, and 3 is the exponent. I had to screw back in my pen. It was coming undone. Fill in the blanks using the available answer choices well, there's no available answer choices, but you're going to write them down. In the expression 5y plus 4, y is a variable, and 4 is a constant. Now, here's what you need to know, guys. I can't put every possible vocab up here, okay? But I expect you to know it. So the fact that I'm going over vocab right here opens up that you need to be aware of all your vocab we've gone over. Make sure you understand it, because I could ask any of those as a question. Just know that. Which is equivalent to 3 to the fourth power. Well, what does that mean? That means 3 times itself 4 times. And the only one that is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Boom. The products of 7.4 and 9. So remember, whenever you hear some mathematical operation and of, that means we're going to take the next two numbers and put them together, right? We don't have to put them in parentheses, but we could, because multiplication is not necessary at all. Decreased by means minus and then 13. So this is going to be 7.4 times 9, or you can put 7.4 times 9. Or you could put 7.4 times 9, or 7.4 times 9. Oh, you guys couldn't see this, sorry. I'm writing down all this stuff. Or you could put 7.4 times 9, however you want to do it. They all mean the same thing. And then minus 13. There's only one way to do that. What is the value of 3x squared minus 7x plus 9 when x equals 4? Okay, we're just going to plug in x equals 4. So remember what I do. Boom, boom, squared minus 7 plus 9. Put parentheses where there's going to be the variable, and I just put that in there. All right, 4 squared. Remember, we got to do exponents first, right, PEMDAS? Exponents first, that's 16, so I'm going to have 3 times 16 minus 28 plus 9. I'm going to say, all right, 3 times 16 is what? 48? Yeah, this looks right. What's 48 minus 28? Well, that's going to be 20 plus 9 equals 29. Awesome possum. Now we're going to write ourselves some verbal expressions, or we're going to translate some verbal expressions into algebraic expressions. And 5 minus the product of a and a number. Whenever you see a number, that just means x. Okay? So 5 minus the product of 8 and a number, 8x. The quantity, 8 minus n. When you see quantity, that means parentheses. So, of the next two, the quantity of 8 minus n times 5. So that's going to be 8 minus n in parentheses times 5. 5 decreased by. Okay, if I'm 5 and I'm being decreased by the sum of, again, sum of means parentheses of what comes next. So 5 minus 8 plus n, because that is a sum. 5 less than 8 times the number. Remember, when you see less than, it means switch the order. So if I'm 5 years less than you, I'm going to take your age and minus 5, right? So in this case, I'm going to have 8 times a number, which is x, so 8x minus 5. Boom. Make sure you know how to do this. Good stuff. All right, let's go to the back here. Just make sure we know how to set up an expression. The table shows the prices of supplies at a bookstore. We see the price here. The expression that could be used to determine the total cost of 5 packs of erasers and 3 bottles of water. Okay? Let's see, erasers are $2, bottles of water, oh, they're both $2. So I can just say 5 plus 3 and multiply both of that times 2. So the total cost is going to be if you want to do it the way we showed you, it would be 10 plus 6 is 16, or you can just say 5 plus 3 is 8, 2 times 8 is 16. Either way is fine, but it's going to be $16. All right, true or false? The expression 3 times a third plus 9 times 0 is equal to 0. Well, let's look at this. So we have two sets of multiplication. I'm going to do them both at once. So put that over 1. These are reciprocals, and the multiplicative inverse tells us that when I multiply reciprocals, those are going to cancel out to be 1. And then plus, and what's anything times 0? 0, which equals 1. So this does not equal 0, making it false. Which expression could not be used to evaluate 25 times 18? Well, let's talk about the different ways. Remember, we can break this apart. This can be 25 times 10 plus 8, which is 25 times 10 plus 25 times 8. Or this could be 18 times 20 plus 5, depending on how you want to do it. Or 18 times 20 plus 18 times 5. Or if we really want to get crazy, there's lots of ways we can do this. This could be 25 times 20 minus 2, right? Because 20 minus 2 is 18, which would be 25 times 20 minus 25 times 2. I don't know which way I do it. Probably this way is easier for me because that's just 250, and then 8 quarters makes 200, right? But let's see. 25 times 10 plus 25 times 8. Yep, that's a way. So that one works. 25 times 20 minus 25 times 2. Oh, yeah, that one works. 18 times 20 plus 5, that one works. I'm guessing the last one is the only one that doesn't work, so boom. Because it's not going to be 18 plus 20 times 5. And that's how I would solve this. Ooh, we're just boot scooting people. In fact, we're getting close to done. 2/3 done. Bowling. A group of 9 friends plan to go bowling. So $12 per game plus $2 shoe rental. So the expression, well, let's see, we add that money together. So per person it's $14, right? So this 12 plus 2. And what are we multiplying it by? Times 9. And let's see, that's just 14. And I can always change that to be 9 times 10 plus 4, which is easy, right? Because 9 times 10 is 90. 9 times 4 is 36, so $126. $126 for all 9 friends to go bowling. Boom. Awesome. Let's go. And our last page. Oop, I almost couldn't find my last page. Here we go. Let's look at this. What is the value of absolute 7 plus absolute value 5? Well, remember, absolute value makes everything positive. So absolute value of negative 7 is 7 plus absolute value of 5 is 5, which equals 12. Really that simple, guys. Sadie has $22.75 in her school lunch account. If she wants the money to last for this 5-day week of school, determine the appropriate amount she should spend each day. Well, that means we got to divide it by 5. 22.75 divided by 5. And what does that equal? It ends in 5, so I know it's going to come out right. I'm going to throw it on the calculator. I just am, because I can. Not pi. 22.75 divided by 5 gets me $4.55. Now, word answer or word question gets a word answer, right? So, Sadie should spend at most, I'd say at most, $4.55 each day. She can always spend less and save more money for the next day, right? It just depends. All right. Got to circle them answers. Astronomers reported the speed of the compact star US 708 is the fastest ever observed at 2.7 million miles per hour. Select the option that best describes the accuracy of the report. Okay, first of all, notice this 2.7 million miles per hour. Do you think that's super exact? Probably not, because you never know. There could be lots of spatial forces, gravitational pulls that are affecting this comet every few seconds. So this is up here. If we were to write that out, that's 2,700,000 miles per hour. There's probably lots of changes in between here if we wanted to get more exact. However, we don't need to be more exact because we're just getting the average. So here's what I would say. The report is very accurate because science can measure speed quite accurately. They probably can, but they don't need it to be very accurate. This isn't very accurate. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 place values that probably could have some changing numbers in them, but we don't need it because it's so far away, going so fast. It probably has so many minute changes happening all the time. It would, anytime you give an exact speed, too exact, it's going to change within a millisecond. The report is probably accurate because the number is not very specific. I think that's probably it, but let's go on. I know it's not this one. The report is not accurate because there's no way to measure the speed of a star. That's not true. They can measure the speed of a star. The report is not accurate because the speed of the star is not constant. Well, that's true, it's not constant. That doesn't mean this isn't accurate because that's probably a pretty good average of the speed. So again, I would say right here. The report is probably accurate because the number is not very specific. All right, let's do some evaluates, simplifies, and talk about properties. So evaluate 3a minus 2 times the quantity b plus c for a equals 2, b equals 3, c equals negative 2. So let's try this. 3 times a minus 2 times b plus c. I always like to put stuff in parentheses. It helps me out. So a is 2, b is 3, and c is negative 2. Boom. Let's do this. That's just going to be 6 minus 2 times the quantity. Well, what's 3? A plus minus is just a minus. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So that's just 2. And what's 6 minus 2? That's 4. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Simplifies. We can't solve this, but let's distribute this x. And what do we get? X times x is x squared plus 5x plus 12. Boom! Look at that. Now let's talk about properties, guys. Properties. Which property says that I can take 3 plus x and say it's equal to 3 plus x? Well, the same thing equal to the same thing is the reflexive property. You're welcome, Mr. Schlichter. Which property says that, I actually said this earlier, a number times its reciprocal. Remember, reciprocal just means flip it, is equal to 1. That is the multiplicative inverse. And last but not least, look at this. A plus B are associated together, plus 6, and then A plus B plus C are associated together. So we're changing associations here. That is the trick word or keyword, associative property. All right, that's it. With that said, peace out.